A dark room with some glowing earrings, maybe, or something. So.
Yeah.
No worries. So, okay, so started the recording now, so we are live. If you have any friends that want to watch on YouTube,
This is the moment
this
to
is the
invite them.
moment. Yeah. Congratulations, you're on YouTube. Okay, so it starts off. It wants us to discuss at great length the pros and the cons of all the candidates.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just start with David. We'll go David first, I guess.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it David Hug or he? It must be Hug, I guess. HUG.
I only wrote their first names down, so you are doing better than I am. I think David is a good candidate. He's definitely well seasoned. He's got decent rankings in the II magazine. And I think he would mesh well with everybody.
I'm trying to think. The only con that I thought about is the fact that he is old. Like everybody was worried that he was old.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I remember about a con. Let me see.
Agreed. I think he was old, so he's probably of the people that they interviewed, in my opinion. I think he was. He has a lot of great rankings, but I wouldn't consider him as a good candidate, only because his maturity. Let's use that. Okay, if you will, makes him made him come off. At least he was a little brass, but almost like he was looking to find out what the company could give him for his wise, experienced knowledge, instead of what he could contribute to a new business. He was late to his meeting when he met Stephen in the first place.
Oh, that was Gerald.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, that's right. I got them mixed. You're right.
Oh, you're okay.
I'm looking at the thing now. Let's see. They arrived at David and Stephen arrived at the restaurant at the same time. So, nonetheless, my assessment of David was better than let's see.
Gerald.
Yeah, than Gerald. That's correct. But again, there was the way they kind of came off with. Both of those two guys, both David and Gerald, seemed like they were seeking, looking for that company is going to pay them for their experience or their great ambitions, you know. And maybe I'll lay my hand out on the table. I think that Sonia would be the best candidate of all the ones that they interviewed, only because she was. Independent, you know, with some other. She wasn't with a known group. She was kind of like I said, independent, very aggressive. When she met Stephen at the meeting, she was there in advance of him. She was on the phone. She's looking for all kinds of opportunities. She didn't even know what the proper amount of money to ask for would be, because she was so used to working kind of hand to mouth with what she'd done. But it was clear that her passion to me was the industry. It wasn't just moving from a one paycheck to a better one. And she was working even in an environment where she had hardly any resources, hardly any team members to help support her, drive it, you know. And she was surprised and ambitious about trying to help. She is imagining out loud what she could do with a company like Stevens that had resources like team members and stuff to be able to help motivate the business. So, even though she is a mom with some limited time, and that she, you know, asked for maybe time at home to do work and all that, I don't know. I just thought she was the all-star that Stephen should be looking for. But I'm sorry, I kind of dashed your question there, Nicholas.
But you know what? You're kind of cutting it down because, well, at least in my opinion, Gerald wasn't even an option when I read it for the first time. I wasn't even getting to the interviews when I read about Gerald, and I was like, no, he's not good. And then after the interview, when you find out that he actually treats the people that it's under his control, his
Yeah.
employees, you can say, that was so bad because they are working. This company it's so good at teamwork that I couldn't even believe how he will fit in this company. It's
Yeah.
like the road and apple.
No, very
So
true. Good
yeah,
point. Good points.
Yeah, no,
the
that's
only sorry,
no, you're okay.
the
Go
only
ahead.
good thing about Gerald it's he's good, willing to go and do, and that was very enthusiastic. But other than that, I don't see any good point on Gerald.
Yeah, I mean, Gerald might have been the smartest. He might have been the smartest
Mhm.
one, in the group. Uh, but at the same time, it's not going to work well. Like you said, the culture of the company.
Mhm.
The if you go to the let's see,
No, you're
the
saying, Nicholas, because he's asking questions like, what's the compensation for seniors? What's your stock option plan? I mean, it's all about, wow, what can I get from this company?
yeah,
I mean,
money.
money.
Yeah.
He's looking at money, and then he wants the most money, and then he wants
Yeah.
to get out. And
Yep. Yeah.
he's. I mean, I feel like RHS is one of those companies where they really try to focus on building people,
Mhm.
whereas he's just looking at what can you do for me?
Me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So great.
And about Seth, I don't remember what's wrong with him. I just remember that he was bad choice as well. Well, in my opinion, no,
Um,
there was something good about him.
Seth was pretty good as far
Hmm.
as I think um like he had good picks. I think he was like the runner up last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Um but that being said, he was also a new timer. He was, up and coming. He
Yep.
wasn't as well seasoned or hadn't worked for a big company as much.
Agreed. And that was a lot of it. And even though he was ambitious, he's trying to use name dropping as kind of his way to get to the top or get to this position because he knew people in this power chip company, right? It's like, oh, I know all these people. That'll
Yeah.
really get me through the door. And it can sometimes, but they might be the janitors. Who knows who he knows in that company? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's somebody that doesn't have impact at all. But agreed. What about the intern? Not the intern, the junior analyst. Her name?
Rena.
Reina?
Rena.
Ah,
I mean, I don't know. If I was a program director and one of my senior analysis just left me and I had to and I'm freaking out, frantically,
yes.
thinking, "Oh crud, I need to fill this position." I'm not going to like Rena to me doesn't look like she's got what it takes.
No, I think she's kind of an up-and-comer again. She probably has a lot of good things, but because she's still a junior analyst, she hasn't kind of made her way to the senior analyst component yet.
Yeah.
I mean, she just hasn't learned it all yet. No
Mhm.
disrespect. I does a dynamite job for where she's at, but
Yeah.
again, I don't know somebody that's that you're gonna depend a great deal on being able to grab a hold of the reins and move forward. I hate to give that to somebody who's somewhat of a novice. Again, you know.
True.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just moving along here. The next question is who you would hire and why. I think. Let's see. I kind of agree with Jeff that I would hire Sonia Mitha.
Yeah.
She to me seems like the best option because she's ranked well with II. She's really concerned about working with the team and the culture. And she honestly has one of the best interviews, I think.
Yes.
She does a great. She's early. She's prepared. She's on the phone. I don't know who she's talking to. She's got her SpongeBob pen.
That totally qualifies her for the job.
I know,
let's
right?
hire her.
Completely.
But yeah, no. So she's prepared. She's concerned about the international thing, and she's worked for a small firm, but she's doing well. So with the added help, I think that would just elevate her status in the NII. So
Here.
that's
You know what? That's what I thought. That imagine what she was able to do without any help in the smallest firm. Can you imagine how great things she will do for an international firm with all the help that RSH gives? I mean, that's gonna be huge.
Big. It'll be a huge benefit to everybody. It's so, it's one of those circumstances that we're learning about. When everybody wins, that's the thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and she was so willing to do all the things by her own on her previous job, and she wasn't even complaining. And I like it the most the part when she mentioned that she was amazed to find out how much she will get paid now.
Yes.
I mean, like, I totally feel the same. Like, when I hear something like, yeah, that's my job, and what do you do? Oh, I do the same, but they get I don't know, better paid than I do. I was like, I'm all the time like, am I sure that what I'm doing is correct? Am I in the right place?
Right.
But yeah, I totally get her. And about the kids and the time, I think that is something that maybe because she's new, the company is saying like, yeah, maybe this won't work. But it's something that actually they can figure out together. I mean, there's a lot of options. And if she was able to keep her clients happy just by video calls, I mean, why not doing something better? Maybe one meeting once per month. Now that she's gonna be more like international, right?
Right. But still, I agreed. I like your thinking. Sounds like the next shining star for that group to me. So
the kids to me isn't that big of a problem. I really think that, like Paula said, technology is amazing. You can you can Skype and you can be anywhere. I mean, right now, we're doing a video chat.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, right.
So I really think we've come a long way. So
yeah.
Okay, and then so we're all agreed. I'm supposed to share this document about the recruitment of a star salary information. So David is making 1.3 million. If he was hired, he would make 1.5 at RSH. Gerald is making 0.9 million. If he was hired, he would make 1.2. Seth is at 0.7 right now, so he would go up to 1 million. Sonia is at 0.4 million, and she would go up to 0.7 million.
Well,
So she would almost, double. I think we're all in agree that, Sonia would be the best pick, and
Yep.
she'd double her salary. So
And you know what? Now that you're mentioning the salary, I'm thinking that that's other thing that maybe, well, not exactly the salary that she will get, but the fact that she will get all the support plus the salary, that is something that will likely make her to stay in the company, not just, to be a shining star coming from other place, because what we read on the other lectures, but also will really make her want to stay in the company because of all the support that she will get plus the salary. I mean, that's the
Well,
last question she asked. And I think that's something that is very valuable to her, the fact that she's gonna get all the support plus the salary. Like
sure,
if it was me, I would definitely stay with the company that gives me both.
sure. But that's a really good point, though, Paul, because also Stephen, in his kind of on the onset of who he was looking for, he was troubled. Or the outline of the company RSH was that most people stayed there a really long time, So he was shocked to find somebody who'd been there leaving. So it's obvious that having having a retention rate is really important to them, as well. So that's a good point.
yeah,
Yep.
and I think, oh man, what was I going to say? The pay. You're going to be able to save so much money
Mm-hmm.
by not spending money on the other dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, David
When,
and Gerald that's gonna, that's almost double.
Yeah.
you bet. All the way around.
So it's just save you money. And that's $1 million. That's a half $500,000.
Regardless of the size, that's substantial. So
Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with David, you're gonna have to bring in his junior analysts. I think he wanted to bring them on.
right.
So, okay, let's see. The next question says, should Steven give Drina a permanent offer? I think we've covered that. Should Steven have let Peter go? Um,
No.
But the thing is that there is a point with people that it's not about you letting them do things. Because if he was already, searching for a new job for about 2 months, part of me it's like telling me that he really didn't want to stay. I mean,
No, you're right. You know what? I don't know that you need to buy somebody's attention. You're right. I mean, yeah, I think I would have made maybe a modest effort to ask if,
mm-hmm.
why he was departing the company. It was financial, blah, blah, but,
mm-hmm.
but you're probably right about that, Paul. I don't think you need to buy anybody's respect, I guess, if you will, or dedication.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, at the same time, you would want to make an offer just to see,
Yeah,
but
if there was something. Mm-hmm.
don't. I'm not gonna go above and beyond for you.
Right. Yeah.
Like
So
normally at my job, they do this retention. Like they ask you, "What are your reasons why you're leaving?" And then if they can do something to keep you there, they do it. But it's
Sure.
not like. But I don't know the way it sounded the last part. It sounded to me like he didn't want to stay anymore. He was just more willing to get paid more all the time. Like he was changing his game. He wasn't a team player anymore.
mhm.
Turning Gerald, maybe. Huh?
Yeah, the next Gerald.
Watch out, Peter.
Right.
Nobody wants to be a Gerald, except maybe Gerald.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see. Should Steven had All right, so this one says, should Steven have talked with the recruiter to ask about Seth?
Oh, I thought about it. Like why he didn't came up with Seth's name in first place, right?
Yeah, it came from some outside source that brought the name to the table, so
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that it's necessary. A headhunter, people are connected in the ways that they're connected. And if Seth was on Craig's radar, I'm sure he would have brought him to the table.
True. Yeah, I think at that point, once I had talked to my, the recruiter, and the recruiter had already brought me a list of names, it's like, great. I have 3 names to pick from, and then a 4th one lands on my desk. Sure, I'll give you a shot, but I won't look at you with the same exact focus I will with my other ones, because, you're not from Seth. If that makes sense.
Yeah, the filter.
You're not. Sorry, you're not from the recruiter.
Right.
Right.
So you haven't been filtered the same way. So get it. Yeah, that makes good sense.
Okay. Let's see. Discuss the performance. Does the performance at one firm guarantee high performance at another firm?
No. It's too many people. I don't know. Often when people come by and tell me what they've been doing, I want to hear about what you've done, but I want to know what you're going to be doing. I mean, past tense is great, and it's good that you've been successful, and that brings you a long ways with knowledge and understanding. But your ambition needs to be reaching for the stars and where you're going to go next. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like we have this say in my country that when new people it's coming to university, to college, everybody talks like, yeah, I was number 1 at my high school and I did so great and I'm gonna do great here. And I don't know if it happens in high school in the United States, but here in high school you get like 13 classes per year or per semester. And then you go to college and you just get like 5. And then everybody makes you say, oh, it's just 5 classes. I can do even better than in college because I'll having more time. And then everybody laughs because that's not true. That's not gonna happen. So I think that is something like when you get new people, like, yeah, that was fine in the old place because you think that, you handle that, but welcome to the new place. That's not how it works. You have to adapt to new things. So
got to have your mind open to new ideas and new outcomes.
That's it. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you did, you did so well at one place doesn't guarantee the success at another company. I mean, with any of the candidates, I feel like they would do well. I don't think there's any one of them that would do bad.
except Gerald.
Yeah, he's terrible. But no, I really think that I think it depends on the type of the business that you are, and I could kind of see, maybe David kind of being more loosey goose, not really loosey goosey, but not as attentive or as focused or as driven, because Gerald, Seth, Sonia, and Rena all have something to prove, if you will. They're not, they haven't been doing this for 15, 20 years, whereas David's been at his one company for 15 years. And I mean, probably with another 10 to maybe 10 years, he could retire, making that kind of money.
Yep. But you have to look at how long they're going to be.
So, Okay, and then the last and final question. It wanted us to discuss the types of human capital, where we had the often portable side and then the rarely portable side, the arrow, and it talked about the general human capital, strategic human capital, industrial human capital, relationship human capital, and company specific human capital. Um, to me, these are all skills that you develop
Yeah.
and that you can bring over with you as far as like a job or life. But
Life skill.
yeah, like company specific human capital. That's it's under the rarely portable side because you know it, Jeff, we were talking about earlier. If I took this new job for um, this company, my knowledge about Wells Fargo isn't going to transfer over. You know,
Right. Yes. Yes.
it's not that's not portable per se. Um, but what is portable is the general human capital. My
And
ability to talk to people, learn new skills, and
yes.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think that outlines it well, because again, your ambitions, your drive, your motivation, your ability to learn, your knowledge, your ability to learn and understand, comprehend things, all that stuff that you can bring along, of course. But uh,
But yeah, and I think that's why Sonia is also a good pick too, is because she has a lot of portable skills. Her she has the strategic human capital, the general human capital,
right.
and she's got great potential. I mean, that's really one of the reasons that I picked her, and I bragged on her a lot, was her ability to the sky's the limit for her.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? There's something like my boss called bad habits from the industry. He usually says that if it was for him, he would rather to hire people who doesn't know anything about the industry rather than people like well seasoned too much on the industry, because sometimes you keep or you learn bad habits since the beginning of whatever job you're doing, and it's easier to train people who doesn't know that much. So I also think that that is something that Sonia will get, because she kind of has the knowledge enough to start working, but because this is going to be a new opportunity as a bigger company, sorry, this will give her the opportunity to develop by herself a lot of new things that she will need, but she won't necessarily have the bad ones that a lot of people in the industry already has.
No, that's a good point, because people do bring along baggage. They get ingrained in a way of doing things, and
Mhm.
training an old dog to do new tricks, kind of an analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really kind of what it's about. Sometimes they're just too ingrained in people, and they can't open their minds up to new ideas.
Mhm.
that's true. I mean, if you look at a child's brain, is developing from the ages of 1 to 2. It's very moldable. It's very easy to learn languages. Whereas an adult brain is pretty useless at
Very
learning
different. Yeah, it's
about
very
new
different.
languages. So it's along the same lines of what you guys have been saying. So
Good review.
yeah, okay, great. Um, I just want to thank everybody for coming and preparing so well. I think we all had some good comments, piggybacking off of each other. Is there any more comments or concerns from the group before we go?
No, I think we're fine.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Good
Thanks
to
for all
hear.
your work, everybody. And Nick, you'll do a session and upload it as typical.
Yep. I will stop the broadcast and I will put a link into the reading discussion or the case study discussion as soon as after we stop this, because YouTube's got to let it like download it as a video or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to
Yes.
brew a little while or something.
Yeah.
And then Gustavo, I think, said he had he's the leader next week, correct?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Yep.
But okay, well, let's see. Yo, let's go